Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're familiar with me, I am Vicky Martin. Get your soulmate time to rest. Sorry, my hair is such a mess this morning. All right, so it's Saturday morning. It's time to ask those questions that you were just anxious to go and ask. This is for those who want to go and ask that question. No guarantees that I'm going to always get to you. Members and those who do the super chats are always going to be first in line. And it's a great way to start our weekend. So just waiting for everybody to jump on. I'm going to do this one that you don't have to be a subscriber. So no guarantees I'm going to be able. Hey, good morning, Anne. So how you doing? All right. So all right. I have my microphone right in front of my chat. So I just want to see if I can see our chat. Did you want to get a read this morning, Anne? I'm just waiting for everybody to jump on the live. And look at you. I value that, what you just said. You are basically saying you're good. Oh, you know what I mean. Here, just one second. Just trying to. Why won't that open? Oh. All right. We'll do an energy check. See how you're doing. Waiting for everybody else to jump on. I'm doing this from my computer instead of my phone, and I find that when I do it from my phone, I have a wider audience than when I do it from my computer, especially with all the changes that YouTube have done with their sizes of their screens. How's the weather there? I've been hearing that the weather, we've been having some crazy storms. I feel bad. I'm in Vancouver and we haven't seen a snowflake yet. We have sunrises, and yesterday was the first day we had a cold morning, but it was the first time I seen frost going to work. It's crazy. But yeah, like I don't know if you can see the weather here. Like it's just and that's not a Christmas tree. That's a tree that I keep up for all of my seasons. All right, see if I can just get this back in. All right. So yeah, it's cold, but for us it's winter. I don't know. Oh, you have storms and snow there too. Yeah, the States is getting slammed hard. Slammed hard. All right. So, Anne, I'm going to go and start with you. All right. And you're still want to be recognized for your manifestations, but you're struggling yet with that manifestation a little bit. I'm seeing here that you want to be validated. You want to be appreciated. You want to be recognized for all the work that you've done, but you're still not manifesting what you're trying to achieve here. I'm seeing here that it's like you're kind of like having that energy of, it's okay. You guys can move on. I'll catch up to you later. I'm okay. And so, you're not really taking the opportunities that are coming to you. You just want to be appreciated and valued, but um, your limited mindset is kind of getting in your way of how you are manifesting, is what is coming through here. It looks like in the past, you had that nurturing, wifey energy that was happening around you. And it seemed very much like, you could express yourself. You were telling me what was going on, or telling the audience what was going on, or telling everybody what was going on. But right now, it seems like that was easy because of the fact that in the past, um, there was this complication that was going on in the relationship that you were very connected to. And because it was failing, or because you were trying to get that person back, this is why you were expressing yourself so easily. But now you feel lonely, and you feel like there's no connections there for you, and you're just kind of like, is this going to ever change? I just want to know that this is going to change for me. And so what's happening is, yes, it's going to change for you, but right now you are working through some energetic blockages that was causing conflict. You see, some of that conflict is that you're not accepting yourself, okay? And so because you're not accepting yourself, and that's a tough one to swallow sometimes, because people don't understand what that really means. But because you want to, wish you were somebody else, or wishing things could be different, or wishing a little bit of, if I think that I am that person enough, maybe I'll become that person, is kind of like an energy of wishing you could be a different person. So what's happening is there is a wound here, and this wound is going to cause conflict in your person being attracted to you. So what's happening is the person is not showing up, and that person is not in alignment with you, only because you still have to work this out, because you certainly would be in a not a very happy place if you come to a conclusion. I'm just going to move this a little bit. You would not be in a very happy place if you come to a conclusion that your person shows up and you're not ready. Do you get what I mean? So you're not ready doesn't mean the person is not going to come, but you don't want to rush them, because of the fact that you need to fall in love with you. You need to see how amazing you are as a person. You see, you've been releasing a lot of those limited beliefs, and you're still releasing the karmic energy from your ex. And that karmic energy had a lot to do with the lesson that they can't make you happy. No matter how hard you try to get them back, whatever it is that is going on in you is not going to change. They are not going to make you happy. They are not going to make you feel satisfied. You have to feel happy and love for yourself. And it doesn't matter if they're there or not. It's not just confidence, it's not just a belief system. There is something about absolutely not wanting to be anybody else but yourself. And so you're still releasing that karmic energy of this person. So you don't want that to kind of bleed into this new relationship or energy of your track. Because remember, what we manifest that person is the energy that we are creating with. We don't want any of that toxic stuff in there, right? And so you are on this journey of falling in love with yourself, of becoming this person, of, really realizing who you are. You know, you have an abandonment issue. I know you've been married for a very long time, but you have an abandonment issue. And I don't know where the abandonment issue is coming from, but your person your person is reacting to your energy because of the law of attraction, because of the laws of the universe. And right now, this person is in duality. So it's kind of like in the opposite of you. It's kind of like being pushed away. So even if they came to you, you would go in the other way. It's just something here is about duality that needs to be merged, and it hasn't yet done that yet. So trust that the laws of the universe, cause and effect, or how the laws work, has a lot to do with this. So if you believe you want to be with if you truly have a belief system that you want to be with be somebody else because you're not good enough, you will attract somebody who's going to mirror to you that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, um you're there's other options that are better than you. So this is the energy that you don't want to attract with, because you certainly don't want to be attracting your soulmate with this. um Let me see here. Yeah. So there is something that's blocking the energy of this person. Don't don't be don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself, because this is so self-fulfilling and protective. This is an energy of somebody who is slowly preparing themselves for a really wonderful attraction. But as long as you are in this state of wanting to be somebody else, wanting to feel valued, wanting to feel somebody, please value me, please appreciate me, please, tell me I'm worthy, people are going to make you feel like crap. They're not going to make you feel good. I'm just going to tell you right now. Men are going to show up narcissistic. They're going to show up selfish. They're going to come around being, so this is a great self-protecting mechanism, because you know yourself that what you want. And if you understand what you want, then you would understand fully what you deserve. And so there's a conflict, and that's where the misalignment is how do you have somebody who's going to treat you as a valuable person has a lot to do with how you treat yourself. Think about what I just said. Now, how does a person with high value treat themselves? Well, they certainly wouldn't be interested in somebody who's going to treat them like crap. They certainly wouldn't give the time of day to anybody who discards them, who is selfish, who doesn't recognize the spark. Somebody who values himself is like, next. So, and it's one thing having somebody as a mentor. It's one thing as having somebody as an example. It's something to have somebody to give you some impressions of who you can be and who you are. But this is where you need to really look at all the things that you have accomplished, all the things that you are, all the things, you know, there is many things about you that you need to fall in love with yourself and stop paying attention to the things that you're comparing yourself with another, because guess what, at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with the 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 version you think it is. It has everything to do with energy. And so in the 3D world, we pay attention to the cars and the homes and the money in the bank account. But in order to get those things, we had to align with it. And those don't take place in the 3D world. Hello. I see Angeli De Silva. What's your name? Are you still here? Can you give me your name? I don't know why I can't seem to bring up. Trying to bring up my thing on my phone so I can see my chat. All right, so that's your reading this week. And looks like you got to do a little work on the wound of being validated. I seen a person had asked me a question for a reading, but you need to be here. I don't know where you went to. And I just wanted to know your first name. Yeah. And it seems I know that usually you'll find me and I'll tap into your energy, and it always comes up with a wonderful message that's really just as important for everybody else to listen to. At some point, we're always in this journey, especially when there has been a breakup. And we go through putting our energy and effort so much on the other person in the rejection and the abandonment and the wounds, that when somebody shows up, are you seeking their approval? Are you seeking them to choose you? Are you seeking them to validate something in you? Or do you even want them? Because that's the question, and that is crossing sometimes the energy is, and you may be reminiscing about the memories that you shared, but are you the same person as you were then? And do you think that there is a possibility that that person is even good enough for you? Because I feel that there is something here about, I don't think this person can give you what you deserve. Yeah, you're not the same person. And I think that that's the thing. You're kind of reminiscent as your old self and not as your new self. And so if you keep on wanting to be your old self, well, then you're just dismissing all the work that you've done. Do you see how that reading is showing you even to compare you're comparing yourself to your old person. Hey, I'm a Virgo here too, very chill channel. Um, very chill channel. I can answer that for you. I can certainly do a reading question, but you're saying I'm a Virgo here too, okay? And I'm going to say this. It says, should I stop using my original Moonology deck? It gives me weird signals, or maybe I just don't like the answers. All right, I'm going to tell you something. I've created 14 different decks. Just hear me out. I've created 14 different decks. And I also have lots of other decks. And these decks, all of those different decks, they don't hold some kind of magic. They don't hold any special energy. All they do is help you to be inspired to dip into those different layers of yourself. So if you are tapping into your intuition, into your solar plexus, into your chakras, into and so with the moonology is getting you to tap into like lunar type of energies because there are different type of human designs who are much ruled by the lunar energy. And so if you associate subconsciously with your cards with a certain type of energy, you may find sometimes you may have to, and for me, I like to knock the energy out of my decks. And this way, it just refreshes the energy and reset your energy. So if you find that when you're using those decks and the weird answers that are coming through may have a lot to do with a subconscious belief that is coming up or a shadow. There may be shadows that are coming through, or who are you reading for? Because I myself can't read for myself. I can read for others. And you can ask a lot of people who tend to get readings from me, they're very accurate. Yeah. So you're reading for yourself. And this is where it can get tricky. If you're reading for yourself, are you reading for self or shadow self? Because ego will not want you to be talking to. So you have three parts of yourself, right? And so if you're getting a reading, it it depends on you have different perspectives of yourself, right? And if you're in duality, well, then you're going to even have more. So if you're doing a reading and you're finding the answers are weird, or you're finding the answers are different, or they're unique, a lot of people like to go and get answers from other people because it is giving an idea of the energy that you could be focusing on. You could be tapping into your Akashic records. You could be tapping into a limited belief. You could be tapping into your childhood because are you being present in this moment, and are you being able to read completely free of your ego, free of your different ways that you may be affecting your own self, like so that's the thing, is can you be really grounded to be able to see what is being coming up. Now if you are just pulling three cards, well, right now we have it's Aquarius season. So Aquarius is, are you referring to Aquarius? Um, are you referring to a particular person, because I'm going to tell you something. All right. When I do readings myself, if I do readings, and this might be your answer, I be very careful about the boundaries that I'm able to cross. If somebody is granting me permission to do a reading on them and they ask me about somebody else, I word that question in a way of what is going on with this person's energy. I never intrude in somebody else's energy without permission. So you may be getting weird answers because when you're asking questions about somebody else, that person may be blocking your ability to ask those questions. So, very chill channel, I will ask this. If this is somebody connected to you, yeah, if it's somebody connected to you, if this is somebody that is you feel you're working through your shadows with, you're working through your lessons with, you're working through relationship dynamics with, then ask this question in this form. Ask my higher self, do I have permission to ask Aquarius higher self? Because wherever your higher self and the Aquarius higher self is aligned is you. And you are able to tap into those answers. So when it comes to relationships such as marriage and commitment, those would involve you. So you can say, if you're looking for validation, you're going to be asking, what does this person think of you? That has a shadow about a wound, about validation, and those answers are going to come back negatively. It's not having anything to do with them. It has everything to do with you asking that question based on a wound. And so that's why I said your shadows are going to come through. And so when we are asking questions ourselves, all right. So if you look at Virgo being an earth sign as a grounding sign and energy, but when I look at people, so okay, if I can go and look at Virgo, I'm just going to use a hypothetical. Okay. Virgo is an earth sign and Libra is an air sign. And Virgo and Libra are so close to each other. So you could be a Virgo cusp going into a Libra, or you could be a Leo cusp going into Virgo. The reason I'm saying that is you'll see um connections can change based on their sun being square to each other, being trine to each other, being same type of sign which is compatible with each other. But you also have to look at rising sign, you have to look at their Venus sign, you got to look at their Mars sign. I mean, if you go and date somebody who has a Mars that's in Aries, that person may be gentle, and same Virgo. It could be very gentle. It could be all these great characteristics, but a Mars, how that man shows the masculinity as a Mars and Aries. Well, they kind of like intense, and they come right after you, and they love bomb you, and they'll take what they got, and then it's like the next day they just forget about you, right? So it's kind of like you have to look at when you're comparing their sun sign, what about all of the other signs? Because all those aspects are really important too. So when I look at somebody's chart, well, yeah, but Virgo is grounded and Aquarius is in their head. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like Aquarius is an air sign. So if you're looking at somebody's an air sign, they're really in their head, and Virgo is really grounded. And they're all about the 3D, and Aquarius is all about 5D. So you're talking about a very creative energy that does things very innovative. And Virgos are very structured. And so it's like a circle and a square. So they're not very similar. They're very different. So if you are trying to punch a square peg in a circle hole and you are just slamming it, it's going to seem like it's going to hit really hard. But if you look at the aspects and how they hit each other, and how they can contribute to each other's growth or how they can be shared. So, if your moon signs are connected, you could see that. So, because remember, your sun sign is really only about your image, your ego, and your rising sign is your soul. So, are you connected by souls? Are you connected by egos? Oops, I'm knocking my desk. So are you, and that's the thing. Rising sign is just as important because your rising is your soul purpose, and where your sun sign has a lot to do with your ego and your identity and how you see yourself. Well, Virgo are researchers. They are the teachers. And so when you say there's a magnetic pull, if you look at somebody's chart, there is all sorts of ways where two people can be very magnetically pulling to each other, and it can have a lot to do with aspects, right? That it could have a lot to do with synastry. So when you go and put your chart and their chart, if you're not doing it by tarot, if you're doing it by those, but if you look at your chart, what is an Aquarius? What is connected to their aspects? Like, is it your, you know, Uranus connected to your Venus? And so if your Uranus and their Venus is connected, that will create a very magnetic connection, because Uranus is about transformation and about change. So your Venus is really about your passion, especially if Venus and Mercury are conjunct and connected to their Uranus. So really, that's not a tarot question. That's more of a synastry or some other type of connection, because Virgos can get along really well with Aquarius, but Virgos can get along really well with Cancer, and Virgos can get along very well with because they're the polar opposite of Pisces, so they can be very compatible, because what people are attracted to is what we need to heal or learn in our own signs in order to become complete and full. And that's the thing. If we were always interested in being with the mirror version of ourselves, we would be bored. So we tend to be attracted to a version of ourselves that allows us to experience a version of ourselves that we lack. I've known Virgos who would be um, mad. It's just, again, you may have a certain synastry aspect that allows you to be more gentle with each other, more kind with each other, and to give you, sorry, the sun is really lighting up right now. I might have to close my blinds. So it just gives you a chance to be able to make that person feel safe so um Aquarius may need you just to ground them. And because you're a Virgo, the Aquarius probably allows you to be more unstructured. So if you can see what, you know, you've got here, and you're down below as a Virgo, Aquarius is up in the head. That's why I said you can compare Virgo and Libra. It's the same type of energy where you've got air and grounding. And so you can kind of meet in the middle. All right. So anybody else have any questions we can work with? I could go and check out and do a couple of reads. I thought I would jump on and do an early. You're welcome. Thank you for asking me. It was a little different to have a question that wasn't related to is my soulmate coming back, but not against it. It was a refreshing question. But for those who are not aware, I am working on some course material, and it will be available in my course material. I'm going to do one to tap into your Akashic records. I'm going to do to be able to read your own Akashic records. And I'm also doing another course to attract your soulmate or twin flame. And I'm going to also do a couple of other courses, but those are going to be the two that I'm working on right now. Sorry about that sun shining harshly at me right now. But yes, let's do a general reading for those who are feeling lonely right now. All right. There are people out there who are like, I'm feeling lonely. I want to know that somebody is gonna make me feel good. And so people who are maybe doing the work on yourselves, you're doing the self-help, you're, working through your wounds, but you feel lonely. It's winter. There's a lot of people who are having storms right now. How can you feel not so lonely right now? I love when questions seem to align. All right. I'm getting here that some of you are not clear in your mind. There is a limited belief that you need to have somebody present in your life in order for you to feel not lonely. Unfortunately, there are many people who are in relationships, marriages, and who feel really lonely. And so I'm seeing here that there is a question. When I ask what this question is actually showing up in my deck as the reason for this question. It's showing you're not clear in the head of what it means to be disconnected from yourself, from walking away from yourself, from feeling lost within yourself. And so I'm showing here that you're abandoning yourself. There is something here about you not understanding. It's not so much in your mind as in your energy field that you are um, it's you're not sure, you're not clear, and you're kind of wishing that certain things were a certain way, but that is the part about abandoning yourself. Maybe there was somebody who didn't nurture you when you needed it, and you can keep on going back and keep on going back, and you'll see this is something that is subconscious that you keep on repeating until you're able to really do the work and look at it. Now, we can't control the things that has happened that was out of our control because of childhood or different things that you may have had no control over, like when you were 2 years old. But some of these energies are from past life, and these past lives are bringing. I am so sorry. I might have to go and put this blind down. Sorry. I was on a roll too. I don't want to knock over this plant. All right. Sorry, I had to close that blind up. It was blinding me a little bit. All right. So it might be a past life. It may be a time in your life that you've carried over. Now, understand this. We can't be accountable for everything we've done in our past lives. I do past life regressions on people professionally. And so if you think about this, if we were having to deal with retribution for every single thing that we have done in other lives, it would be a little overwhelming. So it doesn't work that you're carrying all of the karma from all of your lives, and you're not carrying all your karma from this life either. What you are carrying on is it was somehow imprinted into you because your soul said, never forget this. Yeah, because of the fact this is the same thing what I'm explaining right now. You know, you're feeling lost, and somebody said, don't worry. They gave you that nurturing love. They gave you that mothering love that you're seeking. You're not looking for somebody to say those words. You were not looking for somebody to fulfill that void. You're looking for somebody who says, the hug, the safety, the reassurance, right? So I'm seeing here in this reading that there's some limited beliefs that is going on within your own head, and it has a lot to do with delusion. I don't want to say that out loud, but tend to think we'll be happier when we get this, or when that person shows up, or when this happens, you'll be happier. Unfortunately, you won't. You won't be happier. You see, this has a lot to do with uncompleted cycles in the past, and those uncompleted cycles in the past are just recreating those cycles again for you to get it this time. And those are what is pulling you into that state of loneliness. You need to finish up cycles that haven't been completed yet. In fact, you will not long for that person who walked away until the cycle that needed to be closed in the first place gets closed. And you can work on yourself and work on yourself and work on yourself. And until you choose yourself and say, oh my goodness, why do I need that person to feel good? I feel good without, in fact, I know if that person comes into my life, I'm not going to feel so good. That's when you start closing that cycle up. And you see that you are the person that you need and not them, or you can do better. Because I'm seeing here, this has a lot to do with how you are manifesting, has a lot to do with the cycles that you need to close. You are going to manifest for your soul first before you can manifest for your mind. And so if you are saying, I want this person back in my life, well, that depends on what your soul needs to close and wrap up first. So, what karma energy do you have to resolve first? Because I see here some of you have been not ready to start something new yet, that you still have some karma to clean up. In fact, some of you have to still let go of the person that you're holding on to energetically, because I'm seeing that you have to focus on your abundance. You have to focus on how you are abundant, and you are actually manifesting these rewards. You are actually self-fulfilling prophet. Like this is really what you have to focus on, is how to really be in alignment with a satisfying partner, how to be alignment with somebody who's touching you. If it's touch that you would like to have more of, then you need to focus your manifestation on having that touch, having the nurturing care, having somebody who is a provider to you, having somebody who is like, you have to get clear in what it is you want. If you're just manifesting a soulmate, are you manifesting the loops that have to be closed up? Because those soulmates can be pretty harsh and heavy. Because I'm seeing here that you're not lonely as long as you have friends. You're not lonely as long as you have those who connect with you. You're not lonely when you have people who show up and say, hey, we love you. Nobody is lonely when you have somebody in your life. What it is people who isolate yourself from everybody and disconnect yourself from everybody is disconnected from yourself. So somebody who is lonely because you are disconnected from yourself. And so when you stop self-abandoning yourself, when you start saying what it is that you want to do you want somebody who will be compatible to do those things with you, will absolutely start getting you in more alignment with what you want to manifest in your life. Because if you want to do certain things to share your life with, you can't expect somebody to conform into you. You have to see that that person may have different things they want to do. Are you going to abandon yourself in order for them? Sorry. Are you going to self abandon yourself in order for them to have a happy life? And you are doing all of these things in order for them to be happy and have the things that they want in their life. And so this is the thing. You got to figure out what it is you want, what it is that would make you feel safe, what would make you feel adored, what would make you feel appreciated. Well, first, it starts with you. When you wake up in the morning, do you look in the mirror? Do you say, oh my gosh, I feel I can't do enough for you. I want to give you everything. I want to adore you like there's nothing else in this world that I can do except appreciate and value you. So first you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure, yeah, being happy, what does that mean? So that's the thing. Take every day and look at, are you happy today? What have you accomplished to make you happy today? When you start keeping your focus and your primary focus on yourself, When that person shows up, their primary focus is on their happiness. They like feeling good by making you feel good because they feel good when you make them feel good. Do you see how that works? They don't feel good if you don't feel good, because then that doesn't make them feel good. Because then they feel like, oh, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. So if you don't feel good about yourself, there's nothing they can do to make you feel good. It's an energetic mismatch. Yeah. Well, that's what this is all about. There's a difference to pretending and performing, because if you are doing this to achieve something outside of yourself, it has nothing to do with you at all. It is manipulative. It is acting. It's trying to achieve something for some validation or some ego. And so attracting somebody with magnet energy in your own divine feminine has everything to do with you attracting because of the energy already within yourself. But if you're focusing on them, we'll say the masculine. All right. So if you're focusing on the masculine, if you're trying to change your way for the masculine, all you're doing is giving the masculine all of that energy, all of that light, all that focus. And all he's going to do is get in his ego and think he's all great. And you're not going to get his attention because he feels like he failed you. He feels like he's taken something from you. He doesn't know. It's all subconscious. It's not alignment. You see, he is only pulled to you because you are in your sovereign energy. And that sovereign energy has everything to do with the fact that you do not need anything outside of yourself to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel trust, to feel nurtured, to feel truth, to feel gratitude, to feel, you know, that the universe and you are aligned to. Anybody who shows up for you is just like validation. And if you need constant validation from the universe, that means you don't trust. So if you go and start with little things and see that you can manifest those little things in your life, you start building a trust. And then what happens is things start coming easier. If I hold this up in the air, this will fall down if I let go of it, because it's called the law of gravity. The laws don't work differently just because we want to make it change. No, that has a lot to do with this. I'll explain this a little bit. All right. So if I walk down the street for a half an hour, many cars will pass me. And if I said, um, how many red cars pass me? I would have to rack my mind and think of every and my process took in so much information. And I have to rack my mind, and I'm not sure. Was that 3? Was it 4? Was it 7 red cars that went past me? I don't know. But if I said to myself, pay attention to every single red car that passed me, because every single time a red car passes me, that is showing me that I'm aligned, that I'm vibrant. You're associating with it. And so every single time those red cars would pass me, I would go, oh, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. And so what happens is those numbers are numbers that are associated with your subconscious mind. The angels or the universe is using some way to try to get you to pay attention. All right. So when you notice those numbers, many people would look at those numbers and not pay attention and not recognize the depth or the random numbers may not mean anything to certain people, but to if you have an association with those numbers with something, then you will notice them every single time. And every single time you're noticing those numbers, that's you putting it out to the universe. That association, that's your bloodhound tags. That's what we call them, bloodhound tags. So every single time I see 1212, 1212 is the universe saying, hey, hello, you're not alone. And so when we go and talk about being alone means you're not connected to anybody. You're not there with anyone. You are separate. Somebody who is not lonely, doesn't matter if they have somebody in the room with them. It has everything to do with how they feel connected to the universe, to those outside of them, to how they are able to understand the magic of those numbers, or like I work with numbers, whether it is yes. So if you are looking at numbers and you recognize intuitively, or you have an image of what those numbers mean to you, that is a way of communication with yourself and with the energies of the universe saying you're not alone, right? So if it's 1212 or 1111, they all have different messages, what they mean, because it's a universal collective energy of the subconscious. It's just like um, the laws of the universe, right? They're just frequencies. And when you look at frequencies, when you look at Gravodi numbers, like if I write 5207814 on my glass of water, it changes the frequency and energy of my water. 5207418. And so that is a vibration and a frequency. So those numbers that you are seeing is not just repetitive numbers to make you pay attention. They're vibrational frequency. Take a sip more. So your vibrational frequency, sometimes people think it's moods. And you're saying, oh, well, I feel this way now, and I feel this way a different day. Your vibrational frequency is always the lowest of, if you tend to be feeling grief one day and feeling euphoric another day because somebody went and said hi to you, your frequency is only moving up and down the scale, but where it's in its resting state is actually your frequency. So we could do numerology. I mean, numerology has also different numbers. So I am September the 19th, for example, right? So when you go and do 0911 and break them down, so your life path number and your so you'll see the numerology is numbers and math. Think about Einstein. Einstein had something that still to this day we all talk about Einstein's theories, and they're all math question, or Nikola Tesla, right? Like those math is numbers. We are a binary system. We're just energy, but we're a binary system. We're ones and twos, right? So those numbers, of course, numbers relates to dimensions. If you think about when I wrote my book, Love in the 12th Dimension, it's because of the fact that each of those numbers is referring to different dimensions. Each of those dimensions is an evolution of you coming to God, and then at one point you realize that you're one with God, and then you can now be yourself, because we're always trying to achieve something outside of ourselves until we come to the realization that we were always going full circle, just coming back to ourselves. No, that's all right. Nobody else is asking any questions, so I might as well just continued on. But and that's all right. I have lots of information just because I've been coaching for so long, for many years. And I love the fact that I have so much to share. And so I use readings as a way for people to take that information. Um, and as long as it's helping others, I don't mind sharing. Um, but I do have I have for those who are still asking that question, for those lonely people that we got sidetracked here, or those people who were saying about, for those loneliness, you have to change your belief system. You have to see that you're self-abandoning yourself. You have to see that there is karmic cycles that were not closed off. And those karmic cycles are not closed off. And you are actually manifesting this because you don't want to start something new. You don't want to start a new journey because you're still attracted or attached to somebody from those old karmic cycles. And once you go and align yourself with abundance and how valuable and how worthy you are, you're going to see that your community and happiness and friendships and togetherness are going to fulfill that loneliness. You're going to find those are going to show up for you, because this is not all about law of attraction. This is about responsibility and hard work that you do on yourself. You got to do the work on yourself to see who you truly are. Nobody's going to come and rescue you, because if somebody's going to come and rescue you, that is a mentality that's not going to help you at all. We have a lot of princesses that want to be rescued by the prince because Cinderella told us a story. And Cinderella told us a story that because she was living in hardship, that she was going to only be able to leave that hardship because somebody rescued her. And unfortunately, that was even a story most of us have lived most of our lives. But Cinderella only allowed herself to be rescued for a few moments, because at 12 o'clock midnight, she was going to turn back into Cinderella and a pumpkin until she learned how to align. And what she had to do was believe that she was valuable, that she was worthy, and that the life that she was living in was a lie. That the life that she chose to live in was somehow her own hurdle, her own walls that made her a hostage, that she need to walk away. Everybody has to understand that we all need support and connections, and you surround yourself with a snake and you will become a snake. You surround yourself with kind, loving, nurturing, supportive people, and you will see that that energy will blend in with yours. Because when your energy and the energy of the people that you share are always feeling misaligned, either you're not in alignment with yourself, or you're taking on so much of other people's energies, you're losing yourself. So it's more important for you every single day, instead of looking at how to get someone, something, somewhere, think about who you are and how you would never want to change anything about yourself with anybody else, and really appreciate what a wonderful experience you are. There are spirits all around us all the time who don't have a physical body, don't have the ability to have the experiences that we can taste and touch and experience. That's why they're around you, because they want to experience, and they only can do it through you. So if you feel lonely, you never are. You can certainly find ways to attract people with you. But if you are feeling lonely and alone and there's nothing around you and nothing serving you, you're only going to surround yourself with energies that were aligned with that. And they're not going to feel good, and they're not going to make you feel good, and they're not going to attract anybody around you, because those people would feel that too. It just doesn't feel good. So your own path, we all have our own path. We all have our own journey. We all have our own desires. We all have our own inspirations. We all have our own creativities. We all have our own forms of stories and trusts and journeys and experiences. Absolutely. But each morning you wake up, the only one that matters is your own, and not someone else. And if somebody else is more important than you, then you better start working on yourself, because nobody is more important than you. And there are people who have lost someone they love, and they have absolutely fallen into a state of grief so painful that they don't want to live. They don't want to experience, and they don't want to be able to enjoy their life. And someday it will end, and they're going to look back and thought, oh, I thought I had the ability to have another one. And they're saying, no, that was the only life you got to actually live. You see, all these other spirits, what about them? Why is it that you are more entitled than them? We all get our chance, and you only have one life. How do you want to live? So when you wake up that day, what do you want to do? Yeah, life is too short to be wasted on what if. Instead, create it. Make it the best life that you can give. Make it the best version of what you can be for yourself. Because everything is not about looks. Everything is not about what you have in your bank account. Everything is about how you live your life. And someday when you look back, have you loved enough? Have you lived your life in a way that if you've never had a chance to do it again, would there be anything that you would do differently? Because when I do these past life regressions, I always ask that question when I'm taking them through. Is there anything they would do differently? How many people don't realize how much they don't want to die because they know they never realized how much they never gave it a chance. So it's really important for us to break free of the imprisonment that we hold ourselves to and instead be the teacher, be the guide, and show all the energy, including the spirits that surround you, that life is to be experienced through taste, through sound, through movement, through dance, through love in all things. If you see 3-3 all the time, it's not that it's changing your life for the better. It's reminding you that you are your ascended master, that you are the guide. You're guiding many energies all the time. 33 is an ascended master energy. And that's what it means. It's not what is coming, but who are you? Yeah. That's what it means to align. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. And I enjoy. I don't regret what I do. I love it. I really do. Because there are many people who live life fuller. And they never realized how much it's different when they change that perspective. Yeah, of course. And that's what it means to be aligned. All right. So unless anybody else had any more questions or readings, I'm going to go and work on some content. And I've got a brow client coming in today in my spa. So I have to go and prepare and do that too. I'll be back on it again later on today. And I'll do a later check-in. This was my morning coffee, 7 o'clock read. Still just drinking the last little bit. And thank you for each and every one of you for joining me. And I hope you take this energy and do whatever you can with it. Thank you all. Love you all. And have a great day.